Hi, Misty. Well, it's a brand new day. I'm so glad you're here. And before we launch into this video, I just want to set the stage a little bit because there's a lot going on. It's windy out, so there's no place I can go to get out of the wind and have decent light. The door right now, I have it half open, so it's swinging and making noise. The plastic is making noise, so there's wind coming in from multiple directions. I have a lot of busyness here, which makes for a terrible picture. And as you can see, the light is a little inadequate. I think its audio is okay. These aren't excuses, these are explanations. And the reality is I'm super frustrated because I wanted to do something that I have been visualizing for years and years and years that I can never bring to fruition. Some of that's the ADHD because it's very complex, it takes a long time, and some of it's just the technology and the limitations that I'm working with. Is this driving you crazy yet? And so I'm not ready, but it's Sunday and tomorrow, while a holiday, is my Monday, and I am going to put together the pieces as best I can. So this is a check-in video. It is an overview video, and it's also the beginning of what I hope to be evolving into. It's just not going to be this week, and it's not going to be every week because it's taking me a lot of time. And so yesterday, or whenever, a few days ago, I put up a spoken word, which is basically kind of a poem, only you just My War Cry by Jill Elizabeth for Danger Girls, Wisdom Sisters, and a Few Good Men. The feminine can charge into war alone, but she can't win on her own. Speak it out, add a little music, do some video. I know a lot of you don't like that. I like those a lot, and they take a lot of time, and most people don't even understand what it's about. And standing alone, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And so you've also heard me talk about, I am really excited about this new platform over on Substack and how I can bring all my pieces together. And so in my mind, I have creative stuff, I have audio stuff, I have journaling stuff, I have video stuff. And I think most of us can agree it's really hard to read online, so I'm not going to have a lot of written things. That's why I like the audio. I really like the ability to play that in the background and get other things done. I find it difficult to read online, whether it's the computer or a phone, so I don't know about you, but I tend to not absorb very much when I read, and these online digital mediums tend to be very visual. The problem is that visual is very time consuming, especially if you've got all these ideas going on in your head. I even have my super dirty shirt on because I haven't gotten the laundry yet. So I want to go over a little bit about what this poem video is, what the audio is for over on Substack, and kind of a journaling exercise. And I shared that in the first 10 minutes of the podcast, which you will get the links below. So all of this is a theme, and the theme of what I'm talking about in the poem and the podcast and here with you now is really this idea of the feminine and the masculine within us, but also externalized. And so, YouTube doesn't allow me to talk about anything without censoring me unless it's really generic. And so the real conversation is in the podcast, because for now they're not censoring over at Substack. But it's this question of the masculine and the feminine within us, taking responsibility, and really looking within. I'm very much process and internal, not outcome and external. And the message of this video that I did, the poem, the war cry, my war cry, is, for my sisters, for the danger girls, the people like me who are wired for danger. And we want to jump into the war that's going on. We want to fight. We want to do everything that we can to save to take care of the bad guy and to save the innocent and make everything okay. And it's taken me a long, whoops, we're really getting crazy. Well, now we have a lot of light and a lot of wind. It's taken me a long time to be willing to say some of these things out loud, but the real purpose, I think, in the feminine right now, to empower ourselves, we need to step back and we need to let go. I don't know about you, but I am embarrassed and humiliated by how these women who are in powerful leadership positions, they're angry, they're crazy, they're acting like the crazed men that we're all pointing fingers at. I'm not impressed with the leadership that is the feminine leadership in the world today on any side. And I'm embarrassed by a lot of it. But I'm not excited about what the guys are doing either. And they're all talking, but they're not really taking action. And the reality is that women are the ones that are taking action. And while I love that, Danger Girls and Wisdom Sisters, I think there's a moment that we need to step back. And that's what the rest of this video is really about. And I'm working really hard on finding a way to bring the feminine alive within myself. Going back to the things that activate that, planting, even though I am so not a farmer, total hunter-gatherer. But the home and planting, what you're looking at is a little bit about what's going on here. My plants are this big. This week I had the privilege to be on someone else's property and saw her greenhouse. Unfortunately, the part with her didn't get recorded properly. Her greenhouse is spectacular. And then there's like one shot where I went to a workshop. It's an eco-regenerative learning center, and that's their hoop greenhouse. And I was laughing. Everybody else's plants are huge. Mine are this big. Most of them are dead. I have one cabbage, one beet, and one kale that have lived through everything. So it's my sad, I can't hold on to this any longer. Sad little attempt at being farmer girl. I'm not. I'm danger girl, not farmer. And also I'm showing you a little puppy. This is not my puppy. It might be my puppy. There's several dogs here. I'm exploring the idea of maybe getting another dog. This dog has a home. This dog has a sister, but it's been a couple weeks and nobody's picking up the boy dog, which you're seeing here. And the girl dog, we don't know what's going on with her. So I have no idea if I'm getting a dog or not. I honestly thought I would not ever get another dog. I'm having trouble, taking care of Freedom, who I love. But he, like me, is getting old and we're having a lot of problems. But I will report, and I'm happy to say, we're both feeling a little bit better. I'm taking better care of him than me. He's doing a lot better. I'm doing a little bit better. I think I'm showing you B12 somewhere around here. I'm slowly making the changes that I need to make to have hopefully some level of healing. I don't think I've shared with you guys here publicly. I've shared in the private sites. I have some pretty serious health stuff going on. What I thought was a little bit of the autoimmune is more of like an MS kind of situation in addition to some other things. So I'm having and have been having for years now pretty severe health issues, which is why things move so slowly. I do not have very many good days, and so I am really looking at this all as my last days, last years, last months. While the world is on fire, how do I want to spend them? And I keep talking about wanting to spend it healing and really recapturing the feminine, still in my boys' clothes, but it's my hope to do that, and I don't want to carry the masculine energy. I don't even want to engage with it right now, and I go into a lot more detail in the podcast at Substacks. But what you saw and what you're seeing, in the War Cry video, are some photographs. Mostly they're paintings over periods of time. A little tiny bit of video, and one little, we'll put it in here, Xena War Cry. I love that show. In my perfect little fantasy world, I wanted to be Xena, riding a horse, being, somebody who saves the day, but living off the land. A little bit of that, kind of live off the land, but now I'm just too tired. And another part in that is the men that you're seeing at the end of that video. That's what's called a haka, and they're doing the haka for their fallen comrade. And it is a war cry. It started in New Zealand. There's a whole story. If you get a chance, if I can, I'll link the documentary. If not, just watching the documentary on it's really interesting. But it's something that they did to build the energy to fight and save their civilization. And in the direction I'm moving, in terms of letting the masculine go and letting men go around me, and is really this message of stepping back. And men need to find that strength within themselves. And I love that they can and they do, but they need to do it. You guys need to do it with yourselves. And I think as women, we need to be leaders in our own energy fields of what the feminine is within us.
You must be mad, girlie. That's about 2,000 miles. 6 months of hard walk.
And what it's time for us to let go of. And that's a really hard message. It's a sophisticated and nuanced message. And it's one that most people can't hear yet because it's goes against maybe the way you feel or the way you have personal experiences. And I've been hesitant to talk about it because that's why I've turned the comments off. I just don't care what you think. These are, something's probably falling down. These are the things that are coming up within me, and I'm ready to talk about them in a way I haven't been before. And so, what I envision is using this platform, the poetry. I listened to an interview by Mary Oliver, and she really talked about how poetry was a way to simplify truth. And I thought, there's so much to that. But, Andrew Breitbart talked about how politics follow culture. But I think what's in front of culture is art. And what's in front of art is imagination. And I want to be way up on the front. I don't want to be in the back in politics. I don't think that's where change is created. I believe change is process and within and internal first. And that's the leading edge that I live on. I don't want to yell. I don't care about what your opinion is. I'm just tired of all that. And so this is where, I'm going. This is where I'm moving. This is where I'm trusting that there'll be enough people who are ready to look within and then get some benefit from, my journaling process, my observations. Not about being right or wrong, just as a way to open the energies and the creativity and the ideas within yourself. And I think poetry is a really powerful way to do that, because oftentimes just one line from something, a quote, right, that just really does something for us, where, just me blurting blah, 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 blah. It really, sometimes it's comforting to listen to other people, but there's just no depth until you get it very simple, relevant to where you are and where you are, and then the processing. And that's why I believe in the journaling so powerfully, because more things falling down, is that journaling process to me is how you process these ideas, and you ask, what is it that I can learn? What can I do? What am I unwilling to look at? And so my hopes and dreams, with all my limitations that we've got going on here and in my technology and stuff, that I'm going to find a creative way to do that. So fingers crossed. But I enjoyed making the War Cry poem. I have some other poems that I'm probably going to do the same thing. And if I can, I'm even going to get more creative. We'll see if that happens. I've been holding on to these ideas for over a year now. And if they're so time consuming, it's just I haven't given myself permission to do them. So that's where we're at. So this is me checking in with you the end of May, beginning of June, as we are on the brink of all kinds of exciting things in the middle of yet another windstorm. So I can see that it's going off in the background. Woo! And with that, my friends, I gotta fix that. I will see you next time. Links below, jillsjournals.substack.com.
Thank you.